What's going on, everyone? In today's episode, we are going to be harvesting some stuff, and I'm really excited about this because it's going to be a great way to show you just how much food you could be growing in less than 250 square feet. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're harvesting is our beets. Now, we planted all these beets at the exact same time. Typically, you wouldn't want to do that because they're all gonna be ready at the same time. But because we're gonna donate a lot of this food to not only our local soup kitchen, but also give it away to friends and family, it's okay to have an overabundance right now, but you obviously should be planting a couple rows, waiting a couple weeks, planting out a couple more rows. That way not everything is ready at once. But come in here, check this out. These are absolutely gigantic. Look at the size of this beet. Look at this. These are the bull's blood beets. Holy cow, you guys, that might be one of the biggest beets I've ever grown. Absolutely insane. We grew these in what's called multi-sowing, and that's where we put about 2 or 3 seeds per planting. And when they grow up, they just grow up like this. Like you can see right here, this is 1, 2, 3. You can see how they are just all planted together, and it doesn't really affect the overall size all that much. Now, the reason why we're harvesting all these beets right now and not slowly over time is because, oh, here's the Detroit dark red. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, such a beautiful contrast to that dark purple that we had from the bull's blood. Look at that. Bull's blood, Detroit dark red. So pretty. So incredibly pretty. Wow, beautiful. The reason why we have to harvest all these right now is just because powdery mildew is starting to set in on these leaves. It's really hot, really humid. They're just not gonna do much more growing. Oh my gosh, these beets are absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at that. Is that amazing? That's incredible. Our basket is already full. Granted, a lot of it's kind of full with some foliage, but this is a good little beet haul here. This was from, total square footage. This raised bed right here is roughly 30 square feet in size, but the amount we have planted in beets was maybe, I don't know, maybe like 12 square feet, if that. So there we go. Beets are harvested. I gotta say, I'm pretty stoked about that. Let's move on to something else. All right, up next we got peppers and tomatoes. So we got our peppers here in this bed, and these ones are absolutely loaded. We do have this gigantic rhubarb here that's just kind of being a little bit of a space hog, but it's pretty cool just because it gets so big. But we got here our jalapenos, and check it out. These jalapenos are just loaded. Our determinate Romas have fallen over because they've gotten nice and big, but these jalapenos here are absolutely loaded. Just a crazy amount. And it just goes to show, like, you don't have to have that many plants. If you wanted to have, enough jalapenos for a family of 3 or 4, 1 or 2 plants is really all you'd need. A small little container, really. You don't even need that big of a garden. You can grow so much food, you guys, in such a small space, especially when you take care of the plants, you take care of the soil, and you give them what they need. They're going to reward you. And these are gonna keep producing. As long as we get these peppers off here, they're gonna produce another flush of peppers. And this is the second flush. We've already harvested once. So this is the second harvest. And then we're gonna get a third harvest yet. And so absolutely incredible. Could not be happier. And that's just the jalapenos. We got a lot more to harvest. All right, here we got a New Mex Big Jim pepper. These will turn red if you allow them to, but they take so long that oftentimes what I'll do is I will harvest them when they're just basically starting to get ready to turn, and then they'll finish ripening indoors. Look at all the peppers here. See, these are starting to blush. Those are gonna ripen indoors. This one right here, just starting to get that brownish red hue to it. Those are gonna finish ripening up, no problem. But look, just the sheer number of peppers on this plant is absolutely amazing. There's just so many on this plant. It is incredible. There's also over here, we got the pimentos. Look at this, you guys. Look at the pimento. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. There's more peppers on this plant than there are leaves. Absolutely insane. Wow, that's incredible. Got one little bell pepper. Bell peppers never produce quite as much as other peppers do, but they're everyone's favorite, so we always grow a few. And we got one lilac bell here. This is everyone's new favorite. So pretty. Absolutely one of the most pretty bell peppers, I think, that we're growing in the garden and have grown in quite a long time. All right, now we got our determinate tomatoes. Now these look like a mess, and that's because they are a mess. But even if we would have trellised them up, they still would have been a mess because they're determinants. That means we want to let them get nice and bushy. We don't want to prune them. You don't want to take them up a nice stake because otherwise you're really going to reduce your overall yield. So we ultimately just kind of let them grow and flop because once the plants are done producing, we pull them out. And so it's a really great crop to get a bunch all at once. And these Romas are starting to ripen up and they look absolutely incredible. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful Romas. We got our celebrities here and they look really nice. Just, oh my gosh, like look at all these tomatoes in here. Just boatloads and boatloads of these tomatoes. Woo, you guys, this is crazy. Now, not all of these tomatoes have ripened up yet. They're just starting to ripen up, but the plants are done producing, so now they're just focusing on ripening. But these are insane. Like, these are just crazy. I mean, check it out. Look, if you come under here, look at all these tomatoes. These are the 10 fingers of Naples. And there is just an absolute mind-blowing number of tomatoes down here. But the amount of tomatoes we're getting is awesome. So I couldn't be happier. I really could not be happier with this. Check it out. Look at this beautiful basket of tomatoes from quite literally just 4 plants. 4 plants, that's really all there was. And those plants produced and produced. And there's still so many green tomatoes on here, it's unbelievable. How many ripen up? I don't know, it's getting really hot, really humid. We had a lot of rain. Man, is that a good haul or what? All right, let's move on to something else. And up next, one of my favorite crops to grow. It is just so fun to grow. Absolutely so rewarding, super cool to see grow, and that is onions. We got the white sweet Spanish, we got the Utah yellow, and we also have a very rare type of red onion called the red Wethersfield, and these are ready. They're ready, they look amazing. How you know they're ready is when the tops have started to fall over. Not all the tops have fallen over, but they're not gonna get much bigger. They're basically just getting ready. The necks get soft and they crimp over, and that is when they're ready to harvest. And I gotta tell you what, look at these. Look at these. Oh my gosh, you can't get any better. Onions are just so fun. I love when you pull them up, they leave this just like this perfect little round indentation in the soil. That's just how they've been sitting there like that. You'll notice they're not planted very deep, and that's because when we grow them in the soil, we want them to simply be right on top so the soil is not pushing in on the onion, constricting that development. And they look amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Up next is the red Wethersfield. Now, these seeds were actually thought to be extinct for quite a while until they were actually discovered. A small farmer over on the East Coast was growing them and had been a generational farmer for a long time, and they were able to actually keep reproducing these, get some seeds, and they are absolutely beautiful. In my opinion, they're way darker and way more shelf stable than the red burgundy. Now, the red burgundy is gonna get a lot larger of an onion. They're gonna get, the red burgundy will get about that size or so, but the red Wethersfield are slightly flatter, a little more kind of flying saucer shaped, not quite Cipollini flat. Those are like those gold medallion onions that you see, very Italian onions. These are kind of a cross between the two. Sometimes I just imagine what heaven smells like, and that smell has to be somewhere in there. Oh my gosh, it smells incredible. It smells so good. Probably one of the easiest crops to harvest too. It's really important that if you're curing your onions for a long time, you don't break the necks off like that, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim the tops off, let them dry, and that ends up creating kind of a tight seal, if you will, that holds the moisture in the onion so it doesn't rot. But very, very nice, very good onions. I'm super happy with this haul. How could you not be? Oh my gosh, just incredible. Up next, we got our potatoes. Now, if you saw our other potato harvest, you'll know it was pretty good. It wasn't the best, certainly wasn't the worst, but I'm expecting big things out of this bed here because we actually started this bed a little bit sooner. They stayed a little bit healthier yet. They didn't get quite as much of that rain at the house, but I can't remember if we planted the same varieties or not, so we'll know when we pull them up. I think we did. I think it was still the Kennebec Lollipop and Yukon. But nevertheless, this was the Lollipop. And I gotta say, Lollipop seems like it did a whole lot better than it did at the house. Like, a whole lot better. Check it out. Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys, this actually is crazy. It just goes to show, our garden is only 4 miles away. Just slight difference. Look at this gigantic daddy long leg. We're gonna name him Charles, because if you name stuff you hate it a little bit less. As long as Charles doesn't come near me, we're gonna be okay. I already did kill his brother though. He crawled on me. I will kill if provoked. but the potatoes are absolutely crazy. Absolutely nuts. 4 miles difference is really not, same soil, same fertilizer. I don't know, just we planted about 2 weeks earlier and the plants just stayed that much healthier. And it's just unbelievable the difference. We're talking like 4 or 5x the yields we had at our house. All right, we're gonna hurry up and harvest the rest of these potatoes because it's getting hot. But we had an absolutely amazing harvest. Like, check it out, this is huge. This was the lollipop, and I gotta say, honestly, this is probably the comeback story of the century right here. We planted only 5 plants, and this was from 5 plants. This is probably close to almost 30 pounds of potatoes from literally 5 plants. That's amazing. So now we got those harvested, let's go check out these. I believe these are the Kennebecks. Stunning, absolutely spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Spectacular, give me 14 of them right now.
The big thing I love about potatoes is when I was a kid, I loved to dig for buried treasure. And oftentimes, buried treasure was never found. But as an adult, it's about as close as you can get to buried treasure. I couldn't be happier with this year's haul. I mean, it's just awesome. I grew that. I love that. Absolutely amazing. I gotta say, this is far exceeded my expectations. I think that's the biggest potato we've ever grown right there. That is absolutely insane. This is why we garden, you guys. Wow, this is crazy. 60 pounds, I'd almost put money that's 60 pounds of potatoes. It's amazing. That's phenomenal, you guys. So that's why we grow our garden. And we got a few last things to harvest up here. First one is we got ourselves a zucchini from our pots here. We've had a very steady flow of zucchini coming from here, and there's a lot more. Plants just keep producing. I cannot underestimate the power of a container anymore. I mean, containers just seem to be producing almost as much as our garden beds, especially when they're that size and they're well taken care of. They are just producing. And then we have one of my favorites. This one has been a showstopper. You guys have been following along with this one, wanting updates. This is our artichoke. Now, ouch, I got picked, but these are kind of spiky, but this is a very first for us. We grew artichokes about 4 or 5 years ago successfully, but with just one artichoke. This is how they should look. This is absolutely amazing. We started this from our seed, from MIgardener seed, in early March, moved it out to the garden in late April, and it's just been growing here ever since, and it looks absolutely amazing. Full sun, lots of water, tons of water. These things take a lot of water, but we grew that in Michigan, and it's early for artichokes. Absolutely amazing artichokes. I couldn't be more proud of myself. This is a really fun one to grow, and we've still got about 8 more to size up there on the plant. So now that I harvested that big one, it's hopefully gonna reroute more energy to those other smaller ones and give us some more artichokes, but wow, beautiful. All right, final thing here that we're gonna be harvesting is our sunflower heads. Now we grew these in containers. These were a dwarf sunspot, and they are absolutely beautiful. We're gonna take some of them, dry the seeds out, then we're gonna roast the seeds with a little bit of salt water, basically just have some sunflower seeds to chew on while watching some baseball games. So there's 2 more pots over here, and that is it's a really, really good yield for some sunflowers just grown in containers. So I hope you all were inspired to grow a garden. If you do not have a garden yet, there's still time to put one in. We're actually gonna be starting our fall garden. We haven't even started our fall garden yet. Well, most of our fall garden. We have some stuff started, but there's a lot of stuff we still have yet to start from seed. So there's still time for so many different crops. Like I see, you still have time for sunflowers even. Fall harvest of sunflowers, not too late for that. But that right there is a beautiful sunflower head. It's gonna make some great roasted sunflower seeds. I'll leave that one because that's still really pretty. So there we go, there is the haul from the garden. And again, this is from just 250 square feet. And there's so much more that still is yet growing in the garden. You absolutely can do this. This is not impossible. This is not that difficult. And with the help of our videos, seeds, fertilizer, you know, if you got any questions, post them down in the comments box down below. I want you all to experience this because this is living, this is abundance, and this is why we grow a garden. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the big green thumbs up. Hit that green thumbs up there to help spread this video around to more people, inspire them to grow a garden as well. And we'll see you guys all on the next episode. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider checking this one out. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you so much for your viewership because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. If you haven't subscribed yet, It's free. Consider doing that. We upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, rain or shine. And if you need any garden tools, supplies, or seeds, check out MIgardener.com. We got you covered. See you guys in the garden. Bye.